Somewhere around 2018, 23 years old me packed my bag in one big whole suitcase for a new life here in the UK. The day I moved to the UK for my master's was the very first time I ever visited the UK. Now, when I arrived to the UK, it was actually a bit difficult for me to start my life here in the UK at that time because I lacked some information. But thank God for good people like my cousin who was there to hold my hands and walk me through the first few months when I came to the UK, because he already came before me and said, you know what, everything is okay, I got you. And literally showed me everything I should have known before coming. So from that experience of when I first moved to the UK for my master's, I can tell you for free that moving to the UK, whether for work, study, or other reasons, can be an exciting and transformative experience. However, thorough preparation is not just crucial, it is your key to a smooth transition and a successful start here in the UK. So with that said, in this video, I will guide you through what to do before arriving in the UK, so that you can have a smooth transition and have a successful start here in the UK. So that you will not be like me, that will be calling your cousin or your sibling or a parent or a friend because you are not well prepared. Now, before planning your move to the UK, the first step is to understand the visa and immigration requirements. Now, when you're moving to the UK, depending on your nationality and the purpose of your move or your visit, you might need a visa. For most people coming to study here in the UK, they would need a student visa. The student visa is actually for students enrolled in a course that will last longer than 6 months. And this set of students will be referred to as international students. So if you come to study here in the UK, they will refer to you as international students. Now, most people moving to the UK to work would come to the UK on what is called a skilled worker visa or a health and care worker visa, depending on the kind of jobs they are doing actually, or maybe a global talent visa. Now, the skilled worker visa and the health and care worker visa are for those with a COS job offer from a UK employer. And those on a global talent visa do not actually need a job offer, a COS job offer, because it's a different process to applying for that kind of visa. Now, the point of me actually talking about these visas is just to tell you that there are different kinds of visa. So don't think that when you're coming to the UK, there's only one kind of visa or you are the most important player because of the kind of visa you have. No, there are lots of visas the UK government actually issue to foreign nationals looking to move to the UK. So it is very important that you familiarize yourself with the UK's immigration rules and regulation pertaining to your own kind of visa to avoid any complications at the border. Secondly, you must secure your accommodation, whether temporary housing or a more permanent arrangement, before you arrive to the UK. If you are a student, you can consider your university accommodation, as many UK universities offer on-campus housing to students. Although university accommodation might be more expensive than private rentals, it is the most easy type of accommodation to secure before you arrive to the UK. So if you're a student coming to study in the UK and you want to live on your campus accommodation, all you need to do is to message your university and then they would set the process rolling for you. Now, for private rentals, you can check websites like Zoopla, Rightmove, or Share Room to find suitable rental property that will suit your accommodation needs. Now, if you prefer to find accommodation after arrival, consider temporary housing, such as booking a hotel or Airbnb for the first few weeks of your stay in the UK before you actually arrive. It's very important because you can arrive to the UK thinking, oh, when I go to my city, I would easily find Airbnb or hotel, and it will turn out that it might not be the case. It might be that there's an event going on in the city where your job is or where your university is, and at that particular moment, there are not available hotel rooms or Airbnb, or maybe there's no hotel or Airbnb in the area, and then you have to go somewhere else. You know, all those hassle you want to avoid it. So please, if you prefer to get accommodation when you come to the UK, just ensure that even if it is only for the first night where you will be in the UK, like when you arrive, you have like your hotel and your Airbnb booked before you arrive. Also, if you're going for a private rental or short let, like maybe hotel and Airbnb, check the location, accessibility to public transportation, and local amenities before you finalize your accommodation, before you actually book it, before you arrive. Make sure you check all of that. Now, I do have a video on the channel detailing how to rent a house here in the UK as a newbie. I will link it to this video for those who would be interested in watching that video. Thirdly, managing your finances is vital to ensure a smooth stay here in the UK. You want to start by researching UK banks like Barclays, HSBC, or Revolut, and gather the necessary documents like your passport or proof of address, etc. to open an account here in the UK. Here in the UK, you can actually open a bank online or by visiting a branch, and the process typically involves providing your personal details like your proof of identity and proof of address. Now, I don't think you can apply for a bank account before you arrive to the UK. What you want to do is just to start doing your research on what bank you would like to use when you arrive to the UK. So that immediately you arrive to the UK, you can just Google the branch of the bank you want to open near you. If it's a traditional bank that have a physical location, you can just go there and apply. And if it's an online bank, you can just start the process immediately you arrive to the UK. Again, I do have a video on the channel detailing how to open a UK bank account and the best banks for international students and new migrants here in the UK. I will link the two videos to this video for those who would be interested in watching them. Still on finance, it is very important you understand the cost of living here in the UK. Now, the cost of living here in the UK vary greatly depending on the city you would be living in or where you'll be living in general. London, for example, is significantly more expensive than other parts of the UK. Now, what you want to do when you understand the cost of living here in the UK is to try to budget for your own cost of living for the first month you would be in the UK. You want to factor in the cost for rent, utility, groceries, and transportation and other expenses so that you have enough funds to cover at least your first month's living expenses when you arrive here in the UK. Now, if you need an insight into the monthly cost of living here in the UK, again, I do have a video on the channel detailing our own monthly cost of living as a family of 3. I will link it to this video for those who are interested in watching it. Fourthly, you need to think about how you would access healthcare before you arrive here in the UK. Now, in the UK, we have something called the National Health Service, which is the NHS. It is a public-funded healthcare system that provides comprehensive healthcare for residents here in the UK. Now, your access to the NHS will depend on whether you pay the IHS fee, your visa type, and length of stay. Now, most visa holders coming to the UK would have actually paid for this IHS fee. Basically, the IHS fee is the immigration health surcharge fees as part of their application when they were applying for a visa. Now, if you paid for the IHS fee, then you would have free access to the NHS. However, if you do not pay these fees, then it is most likely that you are not eligible to use the NHS. Or if you are not just eligible at all to use this service, maybe depending on the visa you have. So you have to start thinking about other healthcare options like private healthcare. Here in the UK, there is private healthcare, but most people would use the NHS because it's a good healthcare service and it's free for UK residents. Now, if you're not eligible, or let's say you prefer private healthcare, then you need to start arranging for your private healthcare insurance before you arrive. Now, if you would be using the NHS service, once you arrive, you need to register with a local GP near you, that is a local general practitioner near you, to access the NHS services if you have paid the IHS fee. Because here in the UK, you cannot just go to the hospital like that. Your first point of contact will usually be the GP, and then GP will refer you to the hospital. You can only go to the hospital in terms of emergencies. And if there's an emergency, obviously you go to the emergency department. You can't just go to any other department. So let's say you have dental issue now. You can't just go and see a dentist in the hospital. No. The GP will refer you. And when it comes to dental, the NHS does not even cover dental for most people. They only cover it if you have an underlying medical condition, and with that, the GP would have to refer you, or a specialist doctor would have to refer you. So you would have to pay if you want to see a dentist here in the UK. And you would usually pay for a prescription here in the UK. Usually if you're on admission, they can give you drugs for free. Or if you have any underlying medical condition, then they can give you drugs for free. But apart from those two scenarios, you would usually pay if you're prescribed any medication here in the UK. Fifthly, understanding UK culture and legal expectation would help you integrate smoothly if you're moving to the UK for work, or if you're an international student or a dependent who intends to work. Also, you would want to research British custom, social norms, and workplace etiquette. You would also want to familiarize yourself with UK laws, such as driving rules if you'll be driving once you get to the UK. If you already have your international license, you want to familiarize yourself with the driving rules here in the UK, because driving rules here in the UK are intricate and you must abide by them. You also want to familiarize yourself with your tax obligations and employment rights. So here in the UK, we have income tax, and then we have council tax. That's like the two tax you would actually need to understand how it works so that you can oblige to HMRC's standard of paying your tax, because you don't want the taxman coming after you. Now, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comment section if you have any traveling hacks of your own. So number 6 would be to prepare for the UK weather. Now, the UK is actually known for unpredictable weather, so packing appropriately is essential. Bring layers, waterproof jackets, and comfortable shoes. Winters here in the UK can be cold and wet. However, you don't want to pack your whole wardrobe or buy all of the sweater and raincoats before coming. Just pack a few. When it comes to the UK, you can buy more appropriate outfits to deal with the UK weather before the UK weather deals with you. So prepare for sudden weather changes, especially if you plan to travel around the country. Number 7 is to consider how you will get around once you arrive to the UK. The UK has an extensive public transportation link, including buses, trains, and the London Underground. If you'll be arriving in London, get the Oyster card or a contactless payment card just to make your travel easy. If you plan to drive immediately you arrive here in the UK, check if your current driving license would be valid here in the UK, or if you will need to apply for an international driving license. Now, once you arrive to the UK, you can drive immediately, to be fair, depending on the country you're coming from. You can just hire a car and drive yourself from the airport to wherever you're going to in the UK. But you just need to check what rules applies to you. Now, here's a standout tip that will change your traveling game here in the UK if you intend to travel everywhere. So have you heard about the Rail card? If you have not, then you need to get the Rail card. The Rail card is actually a discount card that can save you up to 1/3 of most of the train fares here in the UK. So if you're planning to travel a lot by train here in the UK, grab a Rail card. It is a little known secret that can significantly impact your traveling budget. It will help you save money. Likewise, when it comes to saving money on public transportation here in the UK, you need to keep an eye out for discounts on attractions. Many places offer reduced rates when you book online and in advance, and you have like a student ID. Trust me, these tips can make a world of difference, because if you're going to, let's say, an attraction place here in the UK, they would actually offer like a plan where they would say if you buy your train ticket and your ticket to enter the attraction, they'll give you a certain percentage off. So if you're that person that you intend on traveling, seeing a lot of places here in the UK, I think you should get the Rail card, and you should actually look into booking ahead to travel to different places. Number 8 is to ensure that when you're traveling, you have all your necessary documentation that you use to secure your visa or admission if you're coming to study here in the UK, or your job if you're coming to the UK for work. Also, you want to ensure that you have a valid passport, that your passport will not be expiring anytime soon. You also want to bring original copies of your qualifications, your reference, and any necessary certifications if you'll be working or studying here in the UK. And when you pack your document for your trip, please put them in a secured folder in your hand luggage, because at times you might need to show these documents at the border. Like when you get to the UK, before you enter the UK, they might ask you for the documents you use to secure your visa or your work or your admission if you're studying here in the UK. Now, this does not happen. This rarely happens. But if it happens and you don't have it, it can be a reason for the home officer who would be at the border when you come in and ask you for that document to deny your entrance into the UK. Like, they can send you back even though you have a valid visa if you don't have those documents. Now, this rarely happens. It has never happened to me. And trust me, I've left the UK a couple of times when my visa expired in the last maybe 6 to 7 years. And this has never happened to me. But I've had stories of people who this has happened to. Thank God they have their documents at hand and they were able to show it. But there was an unfortunate story of someone I watched on YouTube of recent where when they asked for his documents, he didn't have it, and I think they denied him entry. To be fair, I didn't finish watching the video, so I'm not sure if he went back home or he found a way to get his documents. I think he had his documents, but his documents was in his check-in bag, not his carry-on bag. So I think that's where the issue started for, but hopefully he was able to sort it because now he's in the UK. Now, just in case of necessity, in your document folder, keep a list of important contacts, including the local emergency numbers of where you're going to in the UK and the details of your country's embassy or consulate here in the UK. Don't think, oh, I don't need it. You might actually need it. And also have the contacts of your emergency numbers, people you can quickly call, whether it's here in the UK or in your home country, and they can help you with anything. It's very important to start compiling this list of your core contacts. Very important. Now, if you want to know how to pack your luggage when traveling to the UK, I do have a video on that. I will link the video to this video for those who are interested in watching this. That video just talks about the essential things you need to pack, tips on how to pack your bag, where to keep what, whether it's in the hand luggage or the carry-on luggage. That video is so detailed. If you watch it, you understand better and you will know how to pack your bag. Now, staying connected with family, friends, and your employer if you're coming on a work visa, or your university if you're coming on a student visa, is very important. So what you want to do is that before you arrive to the UK, you want to start researching UK mobile networks like EE or O2 or Vodafone to know which network provider you would like to use during your stay in the UK and to get a SIM immediately you arrive, because at the airports they sell SIM cards. Like every shop at the airport would literally be selling SIM card. There are even some stands where you can even get a SIM card for free, but it's better you just have an idea of what network you want to use when you get to the UK, so that immediately you arrive, you can just get to that airport and just start using it. So you can contact your school if you're an international student, or your employer if you're working, or your friends and family to let them know you are here. To be fair, it's not really a big deal, but this is just like a little task that you need to do that will save you a whole lot of headache before you arrive. Lastly, moving to a new country can be overwhelming. So it is essential to prepare mentally by joining expat communities online, such as on social media platforms or forums where you can ask questions and get advice from those who have already moved to the UK. Like if you're watching this video right now, you're moving to the UK anytime soon, you're actually doing the right thing. Because watching videos like mine and other YouTubers who talk about life in the UK, watching their videos and asking questions in the comment section will just give you an idea on what to do before you move to the UK, or things you need to do before you move to the UK. And some YouTubers even have like chat rooms, like they have Telegram groups, they have Slack groups where there are a lot of people there who live in the UK, or people who are thinking of moving to the UK. You know, you can join those groups and start being in the live in the UK conversation, basically. I know it might be cringe for some people, but please do it. It will help you. This is one thing I did not do when I was going to the UK. And to be fair, if I was to go back in time, I would do this. But I actually still don't regret it, but it should have just saved me a lot of headache. And probably would have made friends before coming to the UK. So when you're moving to the UK, one thing you need to understand is that adjusting to a new culture takes time. And it is okay to seek support if you feel homesick or nervous or anxious. It is okay to seek support. Ask questions, reach out to me on IG. I'm always very happy to answer people's questions. Personally, I don't have like a chat group where I have a lot of people there, but I'm always dedicated to my YouTube community. Like there's hardly any comments on my YouTube video I will not respond to. Like I'm very active here on YouTube. I respond to almost every comment on my videos in the community tab. I chat to people there. On IG, I do chat with people there. Now, you guys should let me know, do you think I should have like a chat group, like maybe a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group for like Pathway to UK? Let me know in the comment section if you guys want me to have something like that. Because I've never thought about having something like that, but if you guys would want it, and if there are people that can moderate the community and maybe oversee it, because to be fair, I don't think I'll have time to do it, like moderate the community, but it'd be nice to have my community members in one chat. So if you guys think you can help out to help me moderate it and coordinate it, and I'll also be there answering people's questions and being involved, or we can even do hangout if we're a lot, because I know my channel is a small channel. I don't know if people will be interested in something like this, but I'll just put it out there. If you guys want me to do something like that, please let me know in the comment section and I can start to think about it. In conclusion, preparing for your arrival in the UK requires careful planning and research. But by taking the steps I've shared in this video before leaving, you'll be better equipped to handle the challenges of moving to a new country, allowing you to enjoy your experience here in the UK fully. Now, I do have 3 videos on the channel where I talk about what to do when you move to the UK. One of the videos talk about what to do when you arrive to the UK as a dependent. The other one talks about what to do when you arrive to the UK as an international student. And the other one talks about what to do when you arrive to the UK as a worker, like as a skilled worker. The 3 videos are currently on your screen right now, so just pick the one that pertains to you.